Good morning, JAFRA fans. I hope that you guys are having an amazing Friday. Who likes Friday? I love Friday. It's the end of the week. We get to enjoy the weekend. But what I like the most is to always look like a queen. And that's why today we're here with the very best, our professional makeup artist, Jackie Alves, that is going to help us create a look to look like a queen every day. Hi, Jackie.
Hey friend, how are you today?
I'm ready to take on the weekend. It's Friday. I'm just, happy, happy, happy.
Yeah, and look at that look you're rocking today. I can tell you're ready to take on the weekend because girl, you look like a queen today.
I had to look for the occasion. I always enjoy your tips, so I'm working on that lip liner tip. But today, Jackie, it's all about you. Go ahead and take over. I'll be behind the scenes. I'll be here answering questions in the comments and let me know if you need anything. So, are you guys ready?
Well, then I will go ahead and take it away. And she just gave me permission to take over, and that's what I do best. So here I go. So, you guys, I'm so excited to be with you today. And like my friend Monica said, happy Friday, everyone. I hope that you're getting pumped for the weekend. And this is going to be a great way to just set your weekend off with being able to try some of these tips that I'm going to teach you today. A way to achieve a beautiful, royal, magnificent look. But I don't want you to feel obligated to do this entire look. I'm going to show you something incredible, beautiful, very upscale, elegant, but it's going to have some depth and pop to it. But if you're like, I'm not going to do that, Jackie, I can't do all of that. I want you to take an incredible lip tip that I'm going to teach you today, or a contouring trick I'm going to show you today. So there's lots for anyone to pick and choose from here. So it's like a buffet of royalty today. You can take the whole queen's look, or you can just take a couple pieces of it. Now, I want to point out that I got started with some incredible skincare first. I always talk about that in my academy here. I have at my makeup studio when I teach and train makeup artists. That skin prep is super important, you guys. And I started with the volcanic polishing mask this morning. This is great for exfoliation. Now, I know we've got problems with the way that our foundation looks. Sometimes we lose it off our chin and nose, and we're like, why can't I get my foundation to look like hers? You know, we always have that friend that has that perfect foundation. Well, start with some great skin prep. You guys get those dead skin cells off. Use a great serum. The JAFRA BioLab serum is a lactic acid serum and really helps that dehydrated skin look plumped up and radiant. Also, I'm using a lightweight moisturizer today because I like more lightweight under my foundation. Now at night, girl, I pack it on. I'm afraid to roll over and get it on my pillowcase. I wear so much at night, moisturizer, serums, everything. But during the day, I like to take it easy and keep it lightweight because I like my makeup to look fresh and I like it to last longer. So that'll help with that. I also, of course, used an eye serum and an eye cream. Super important to keep your eyes looking hydrated underneath before you start trying to pack on some concealer. Like, oh, I got to cover these bags. Treat that skin well before you start covering. And I'm going to start with my favorite new fragrance. This is Queen by JAFRA. And I say you have to set the atmosphere, like create the ambiance for the look before you even get started. Put on your favorite music, which I can't do because, you know, Facebook will just get mad at us and make me like, you know, they'll probably block me if I play my favorite music right now. But when you're in your bathroom, you don't have to care what Facebook says. So play some great music, spray your favorite fragrance. It's going to make you feel amazing before you even get started. Set that tone. And now I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of primer. Today I'm going to use my Royal Radiance primer. Now, this is a silicone-based primer, so I'm just going to use a couple of um, small dots of it. And starting in the center, I'm really going to press it into my pores. Now, sometimes I prefer a water-based primer, but today I'm really going for that radiant look, and this primer is going to help with that. Even get it on your lips, your neck, your eyelids. That's going to help keep your eyeshadow longer if you've got, you know, your primer under there. And on my lips as well. You know, we need all the help we can get making that makeup last. If we're going to bother putting it on in the morning, I want to still look good later. So I've got my primer. I'm going to head straight into foundation, and I'm using the JAFRA Royal Radiance foundation today. This is more of a dewy finish foundation, and it's got skincare in it. So really, it's a beautiful, like high-end foundation. I'm going to start by just putting a little on the back of my hand. You could put it directly on your face if that's how you prefer to apply. You could even use your fingers if that's what you like to do. But today I'm going to use JAFRA's foundation brush. It's literally the best foundation brush I've ever used. And it really allows me to get a good layer of foundation, but I don't have to pull like a paintbrush. I really like to stipple it or bounce it onto my skin. And I'm just worried about the inside areas for right now, just right through the middle. I'm going to grab myself a mirror. You guys, at 50 years old, I got to say, one of the first things that started going was my eyesight. That started in my 40s. So I'm a huge fan of a magnifying mirror and all the tools we need to be able to get our makeup on. All right. So I've got a nice lightweight layer. Now I'm putting it on my eyelids as well. Again, that's really going to help with that eyeshadow, help it stay longer, and it'll help the colors pop better too if it's got a foundation. That's why it's called foundation. All right, a little bit more right under the eyes, just a small amount under the eyes. I don't like to cake and bake and get all the layers under the eyes till later in the game. Bring it down my neck just a little, and you can see I get a pretty good amount of redness here. So I'm going to just cover that a little bit too. One thing I love about this Radiance foundation is how lightweight it feels. Literally feels like I'm wearing no makeup. And I can double layer it too if I felt like I needed more coverage. But I'm pretty okay with the amount of coverage I have so far because I'm going to be building in layers. Now I'm taking the shade Bronze, again, in the Radiance foundation, because I'm going to warm up the perimeters. Now, you don't have to do this. You could always just use one shade of foundation, but I really love to bring in a deeper shade, almost like a contour, but it just adds an element of bronze and really warms up my skin. But I do like to keep it lighter in the middle to add that dimension, almost the same as a contouring trick. I'll turn to my mirror over here so I can see a little bit more even light over here. I want to make sure I'm not getting all crazy and have one side contoured. That's like a driver's tan, right? When you're driving down the road and one arm is all nice and tan and the other one is white all the time. That's kind of how I roll. All right, so I added a little bit of that bronze up here, right under my cheekbones and right under my jawline. I'll bring that bronze down because most of us do have a white kind of neck. The sun usually doesn't hit us here. So I do like to bring that beautiful deeper shade down. Now I want to go back to my first shade, which is Nude in that Radiance foundation. And I'm just going to strengthen up my jawline by adding some of the lighter shade back in, because I want this to stay light and bright down here. Since I've added that deeper shade under here and made it lighter right here, gives the illusion of a stronger jawline. I have a little bit of extra stuff going on here, so I try to disguise that as much as possible. One tip on that that's not even makeup related: stand up good and straight, shoulders back and down. Keep your chin up, girlfriend. That's definitely going to help with that posture and lengthening your neck a little bit, and then help it along with some great contour tricks like I just showed you. Now I'm going to lightly powder this. I'm really happy with the way this is turning out. My skin looks beautiful and glowy right now, but I'm going to take my big old fat powder brush and my JAFRA Beauty Photo Set powder, a beautiful translucent powder, just going to press through the middle. And this is a true translucent, you guys. It goes with any shade, foundation, any type of skin. It's beautiful. There's no flashback with this one, so you're not going to look white-faced in a photo. You're not going to look pale. And I'm just patting it right through the middle because I don't want to matte my face down per se. I don't want to ruin that beautiful glow, but I do want to set this foundation so that I don't get like shiny. And this will also help buff it a little bit, making my pores much less obvious. And most of us really want that. I mean, nobody likes those out of control pores, to tell you what. All right, I'm going to hop over into some blush right now, and then we're going to go to a beautiful eyeshadow. So you guys, today I'm going to be recreating a queen look that is actually featured in JAFRA in their brochure this month. And there's a beautiful woman who looks super regal and royal. And I wanted to recreate that look as closely as possible so that you could all learn something new and head into your weekend looking royal as well. I do just want to give a shout out to my good friend Bronwyn for the idea. She sent me a photo of that brochure and said, "Can you try to recreate this look?" And I was like, "Shoot, girl, it's on." So here we are. So thank you for that idea. And I'm using a JAFRA blush. This is a powder blush. This is just the shade Bronze. Now I want to go over the top of it and just bring in a little bit of pink. I'm going to use the shade Captivate right on top, just to add some pink so I don't have too much brown going on. I think especially if you want a more youthful glow, make sure it's not all brown. Make sure there's a little bit of pink in there. And I'll hit right above my eyebrows, right at the arches. Just add a little bit of color right there. Now, let's head into some eyeshadow. You guys, I've got a couple of different things I'm going to be working with today. And if I cannot knock them all off onto the floor, it will be a miracle. So I'm going to get started with a couple different things. I'm going to use a little bit of this Novomarine Eyeshadow Palette. This is, of course, one of JAFRA's star makeup products. Novomarine, you can see, offers a lot of different shades. And don't be distracted by the turquoise because those are beautiful, but there's so much to offer in here. There's a gold, there's a beautiful tan shade in here. This silver is great, and this black is incredible, along with a gray you've got here, grayish silver shade. So you've got a lot of options in this palette, but I'm going to combine it with a couple of different things, and you guys might be shocked, I tell you. Let me get a couple things out of my way. That was the first thing to drop. I always say it's not a party till something gets dropped, so we can party now. All right, so I'm going to go back to my powder, the same powder I just used for my whole face, that translucent powder. I'll hop in there with my eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to use it just as if it were my first shade of eyeshadow, just creating a nice little base in here. I really just want to use this as a base shade of eyeshadow to set and prepare my eyelid. It helps to, when you've gone from liquid and then you're going to head into powder eyeshadow, it helps prepare the skin to receive that powder product better when you've prepped it with something like this. Now I'm going to go for that tan shade in the Novomarine palette I just showed you, and I'll just use the same brush. And I'll just get right in my crease, bringing it up towards my brow. And I always say, go up a little bit higher than you think with this. We tend to we get a little bit scared and we just will put some right here and you open your eye and it disappears. So I always say, bring it up much higher than you think. And, if it gets out of control and you don't like it, it's okay, you guys. It's just eyeshadow. You can wipe it off. I want to encourage you to try something new today. All right. Bringing it up towards the brow. Look how beautiful that is already. I could get away with just wearing some mascara and rocking this for eyeshadow if I wanted, and I've only used one shade. So you can see how highly pigmented this eyeshadow palette is as well. Now, I need to add some depth to this, so I'm actually going to use my blush. I want to go back to that bronze shade, and I'm just going to pop a little bit in. I like how it's got a little bit of shimmer in it, and it's going to just transition that up towards my brow a little bit more. Now I'm going to head back into my Novomarine palette to grab some of that black eyeshadow. I know it's like, oh my gosh, what in the world? But I'm going to take a teeny tiny little smudger brush, you guys. This is just a random, any brand smudger. You could use your pinky or even a Q-tip if you prefer. But I'm going to use a little bit of black right here and fade in towards the nose, and it's going to disappear halfway into my lash line. Now I'm just fading it up, almost like eyeliner, but I'm just adding depth to the outer corner. Now I'm going to go back to my eyeshadow brush so I can add more of that black, but I wanted to start with a nice tiny little line first because it will act as my guide. Now just gently popping in some black. And I don't want you to be afraid of black. It doesn't have to be crazy solid black. I'm really just using it for depth, almost like, an artist would use for shading. Because my goal is not necessarily to have black eyeshadow. It's just to add some depth on the outer corner. And when you just use a very small amount, you don't have to be afraid of it. Now I'm going to go back to that tiny smudger brush just to make a small line. And faded it up a little bit. Now I'm going to go back to my brush, the regular eyeshadow brush, and start adding some black on this side. And it just begins to fade toward my nose. So you can see how I'm leaving that inner corner light and bright. And the black is really just adding a little bit of depth and contrast without, I don't feel like I've got like black eyeshadow, smoky eye, anything like that going on. I really feel like it just adds to that beautiful bronze that I've got going on. Now I'll bring it in a little bit, come closer for you. And notice I never did dip back in to the eyeshadow. I just took a couple little pops right on the top, and then I've just been working with it the whole time. So just be patient with your blending. That's really, really key with something like this. Okay, now I'm going to take some of the black eyeshadow and go underneath. And if you look up, it really helps stretch that bottom lid a little bit so you can just get a little bit of the black right directly in your lash line. That'll add a beautiful definition. And it's like a powder option for eyeliner. So you don't have to force yourself to wear eyeliner if you're not good with it, or if it smears on you a lot, try a powder. All right. Think it's working. There we go. Man, it's hard to cross your body with your right hand and holding my mirror, and I feel like you got to be pretty flexible to get that to work. All right, now I want to go back to, I'll take that crease brush. I'll go back to crease brush, and I'll go back to my bronze eyeshadow. Or I'm sorry, my bronze blush that I'm using for eyeshadow. And now just transition that black a little bit. It softens it and fades it up towards my brow a little bit. So you can see the focus is mostly on the outer corners by adding all of that depth. Now I need to fix my eyebrows. I do have permanent makeup on my eyebrows, you can see. But of course, I got a bunch of foundation on the crazy things, and they've faded quite a bit. So I'm going to go back with my brow pencil. This is the micro brow pencil. And I love this. It's super skinny, so it's really great for precision. But now is when I have to get that magnifying mirror I told you about. So I'm going to go in with my pencil, and I'm just going to sharpen up my brow a little bit and bring it back to life. And I'm just going so gently, feathering so light. And you know, I really feel like you have to go light with these pencils or else you'll just break that little tip right off. So, you know, just remember, take it easy with these. Don't start trying to draw. Just get in there and feather some of that color in. And this one is the shade dark blonde. So I could also use cool brunette if I prefer. You can see my hair is kind of a cool brunette, but I just like the way this one looks. It's really easy to work with. And sometimes even my clients that are brunettes, I'll still use the dark blonde in with their brows because it helps it stay looking more natural. A little bit of lighter and a little bit of darker on the brows looks much more natural. It gives it a fluffy look rather than a blocked brow look. Now with this little tiny pencil, you can just define underneath and then move to the top. And then I'll just feather it in through the middle just a little bit.
Jackie, while you do your eyebrows, I would like to read some comments because I know you're watching them too, but I just want to give a shout out to Jacinda. She's following along every step that you're doing. So we want to
Yes.
see your picture in the comments once you're done. She loves your eyebrows. She loves your tips. The micro pencil that you are using, she said it's always in her makeup bag. Sylvia says you're very fun to watch. So yes, I think you just make this more fun to follow along and just to see every step that you're doing. So hey, Sylvia, I knew you were going to be here with us today, and we love to see you on our lives. So what other comments do we have? So Jacinda, yeah, I want to see your picture when you're done. And they also love that royal foundation too. So great tips, Jackie.
Oh, good. I'm so glad we have so many friends with us right now. That makes it even more exciting when you feel like you get to hang out with friends.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have finished my brows. And again, I use that dark blonde pencil. Pretty weird, but I even use it on women that have very dark brows because it adds that dimension. And that way you're not getting such a blocky look. So now I want to show you, I'm going to use some liquid eyeshadow. And this is in the shade Playa Oaxaca. I think I'm saying it right. So if I'm not, correct me. But it's really like a shimmery white almost, like a shimmery cream color. And I'm going to take my concealer brush. This is a double-ended concealer brush. I'm going to take the small side and just add a little bit right here on my inner corner. And I'll tap it with my ring finger just to make sure I'm not getting too much because you really want it to blend and fade as it heads over. And I'm going to bring it on my inner corner a little bit. All right. Wow. Looks so cool. I love doing that. And actually can help really open up the eyes as well. If you've got a hooded lid or you feel like your eyes are just beginning to dull and not look as bright and open as they used to, adding a little bit of shimmer or a brighter shade on the inner corner like this really catches some light. What happens is it will grab the light and reflect it into the eye itself, right into the iris, which will give the appearance of a much brighter, more open eye, which also gives a more youthful appearance. So, you know, wake up, bright eyes. I'm going to put a little bit more. I felt like it just needed more. And I'll blend it like the other side. Let me come closer for you real quick. Okay, and now I'll put some in the inner corner on the bottom. All right, I'm gonna check them and make sure they match. I just love that step. I'm so obsessed with it. All right, now I'm not too worried if I've got fallout or if I got that liquid eyeshadow anywhere it doesn't belong. on the bottom because I'm going to go clean up with concealer. That's why I wait so much later in the game to do my concealer, is because I like to go clean up with it instead of having it packed under there. And then you get eyeshadow or mascara in it. And it's like epic fail. That's no bueno, my friends. No bueno. So now I'm going to take a black eyeliner, and you guys, I'm just going to go like this on my outer corner and just run it right along my lash line. Okay, I'm not worried about making a wing at this point. And this is just a pencil eyeliner in black. Just making it thicker on the outside, and it's going to fade towards my nose and disappear, just like that black eyeshadow did when I first started. All right, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to check our time and make sure we're still doing okay. Yep, we're doing good. I'm going to start wrapping up here, you guys. So I've got some eyeshadow. I'm going to go back to my little smudger brush and smudge it in a little bit. This is a great tip if you don't really get yourself a good solid line. If you're like me and you get your line a little bumpy and a little off, go back and smudge it out, and then that will give you a smoky wing. And then it looks like you did it on purpose. It doesn't look like you messed it up at all. They'll just be like, dang, girl, I like your smoky wing. And you can just say, yes, I'm an expert. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of mascara right now. And I think all queens should be confident. Of course, I'm going to use some confident mascara. All right. It's got a curved brush on it, so that's super helpful. I'm not going to worry about getting a huge amount on, because once it dries, this is a great buildable mascara. Once it dries, I could go back and put some more on, but I don't want to take time during our live to do that. But I definitely suggest, if you're using this mascara and you want some volume, just go back and add a second coat. It's so easy to build with this one. It didn't clump on me. And I'm finding that it's a little bit smudge proof too. It's not waterproof, but I did really like how it wasn't super easy to get off. So I thought that's great for, if you're going to get a little emotional sometimes, like I do. All right, doing the other side. And just getting the tips really, and then grab the roots and pull up. This really is a good mascara if you like some separation, and then you can, like I said, go back, add another layer to fatten it up. All right, that looks really pretty. I love that inner corner pop of shimmer, you guys. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my Royal Primer, or I'm sorry, concealer, and this is Radiant Light. There's 3 different shades. There's a light, medium, and deep. I'm, of course, going to use the light. And you can use a little concealer brush if you like, but I just really like to go in and use my ring finger when it comes to this, because your ring finger will warm up the product and it spreads really nice. I don't have to pull. And I do prefer a tapping or patting motion under my eyes, because that also helps depuff a little bit. So anything that's going to depuff, I'm a fan. The only thing I want to puff on myself is my lips. I got to puff those up. And I'm going to show you an incredible lip trick if you can stay with me for just a few more minutes. All right, I got my concealer here, and it has really cleaned up under my eyes really well. That looks great. Okay, I'm going to take my blush brush and just back blend a little bit, just to make sure my blush didn't get erased by my concealer. Now check me out. I'm going to go in and create a fabulous regal lip. It's going to look beautiful. So I have a lip liner here in the shade Dahlia. and it's a very deep red. I'm going to start with my Cupid's bow. And go to the bottom. And remember I said I wanted to puff my lips or plump my lips. So I'm actually overlining a little bit. Okay. Now, one reason I like to get a couple of layers on is because it helps it last longer. If you can really double and triple your lip liner, it's really going to last you a good long time. And then I'm going to go in with a lip stain called Always Fierce and use it to base my lipstick. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to go over the top now with Bésame Mucho. And this is one of our royal lip colors. Now, what just happened? What did I do? Well, I layered that lipstick so it is not going anywhere. And I based it with a lip stain so it will last me all day. If you're going to bother with a red lip, you might want to make sure it's going to last and that, you know, at the end of the day or your special occasion that you're going to, you want to make sure it's still there. Now, adding depth and shine with a royal lip plumping jelly in the shade Spicy Cherry. And that stuff is fantastic. Now, I would definitely add a second coat of mascara, and I would even put a false lash with this to really pop the look and add some extra. But right now I'm going to use my setting spray and take a couple of passes across the face there. Now, this is my JAFRA setting spray, you guys. This is wonderfully refreshing. It's actually not damaging for your skin like a lot of setting sprays are. That one's so soothing. And then you got to figure out how you're going to wear your hair. Do you want it up? You know, a lot of queens wear their hair up and then they wear a crown, but I might look weird if I'm running around with a crown on today. So I think I'll just stick with this. All right. What do you think?
We love the look, and everybody, I'm gonna order this on my card. I'm gonna add that shade. So we can't wait. If you guys were following along, or if you guys try to recreate this look on the weekend or in the month, just go ahead and share your pictures. We would love to see it. You look fabulous. You are a queen, with or without makeup.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jackie, and thank you everyone that follow along, that join us today. We will have Jackie again this month, March 18th at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. She's going to give more tips on makeup. And if you guys have more questions, drop them in the comments. I'll be answering any questions about the products that she used. Thank you, Jackie, for sharing these tips with us. Sylvia loves your tips. She's like, I would never miss something from Jackie because we learned so much from her. So thank you, JAFRA fans. We will see you guys on our next live.
Bye, everyone. Happy Friday.